God is good and all the time. I just would like to recognize my CS, Dr. Sarah Ruto, who is here in spirit because she has lost her father. And the rest of the protocol is as observed by the Principal Secretary. My statement to the country today is perhaps the most solemn and significant since I joined this ministry more than 3 years ago. I stand here today to release the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education KCPE examination, which is important to us in two ways. One, it is the last examination which is being released under the Jubilee administration of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, a regime that has seen a 6-year run of the most clean and flawless national examination campaigns that have restored the integrity and credibility of our national certification system. Two, these KCPE examination results we are releasing today will be the second last before we fully transition into the competency-based assessments under the competency-based curriculum in 2023. Therefore, I'm very proud and thankful to the Lord and His Excellency the President to have allowed me to serve for the last 6 years, 3 as Cabinet Secretary, and incidentally, very strangely, the longest Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Education under the Jubilee administration, and the other 3 years as Chair of the Kenya National Examination Council. I cannot take this opportunity for granted. I am aware that there are very many other better qualified people, and I think His Excellency the President alone knows why he dared to my successor, which only God knows. I am proud of my record, and I remain confident that the lady or gentleman who will come after me will find a comfortable place to continue from. That is not to say that Jogo House is a place that is easy to work in. It is a place which does not require people who do not have a hardened heart and the personality to fight corruption. Let me outline a few of these milestones. The competency-based curriculum. As a government, we have done everything possible to midwife the transition of 844 to CBC. So far, the CBC has successfully been implemented up to grade 5. Next month, by the grace of God, the pioneers will join grade 6 and sit for their first national assessment later this year. These children have already spent 8 years in the competency-based curriculum. I wish to assure the country that all curriculum materials for grade 6 have been prepared and distributed to all public schools. As you have heard from the Teachers Service Commission CEO, Dr. Nancy Macharia, all relevant teachers have been trained to teach grade 6. So we are prepared for the rollout. And many more teachers will be trained. To be more specific, next month we shall train teachers for grades 7 and 8. But being Kenyans, you can be sure you'll be asking again and again, have the teachers been trained? Are the teachers there? Ahead of the start of the junior secondary school next year, the Ministry of Education, under the very competent leadership of His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, has constructed 6,497 new classrooms to accommodate CBC Pioneer class under the first phase at the cost of 5.123 billion shillings. The most important thing to note here is that each of these classrooms has costed only 788,000 shillings. We like it or not. Where has the 426,000 shillings extra been going to? Because most of the classrooms before this were constructed at 1.26 million. So we must give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And I want to thank the President for being firm on us, saying that he was of the considered opinion that 788,000 can construct classrooms. I'm saying they are all completed because the few that are not complete are either at walling or roofing stage, and my team and I shall ensure that they are complete before the end of the exams. And then we shall embark on the phase 2 of the program, which is a balance of 3,503 classrooms. In fact, this morning I asked His Excellency the President to provide money for this, and the answer was in the affirmative. So before we leave office, ladies and gentlemen, whether anybody likes it or not, we shall have constructed 10,000 classrooms at 788,000 shillings each. And I think this should be a blueprint. And I want to ask members of the fourth estate to be making noise about this. if you are saying the same classes we are constructing at 788, where are you taking the balance of the money? I think Kenya is not a poor country. It is just that it has no good workers. There are many jobs, but there are no workers in Kenya. Are we together here? Because people work for their pockets. And I've just remembered, I want to recognize just one person. Yusuf, stand up so that they can see you. Everybody forgets about this young boy here, called Yusuf. The fact that we were able to mark these exams quickly and on time, he's the last in the chain. So let's not judge people from where they are. But there are times he was sleeping at 4:30, and by 7:30 he's here. And we are now releasing the results. And you have seen all my leaders have forgotten him. I will not forget him. Thank you. All these preparations, ladies and gentlemen, make me extremely comfortable that my successor will find a good script to follow in the CBC implementation. But I want to dare say once again that this ministry is not a ministry for the faint-hearted. The education ministry is not a ministry for the faint-hearted, starting from your house to the field and to your house. The competency-based assessment, as I already said before, the first grade 6 assessment is set to be administered in December of this year. It's expected that this national assessment will account for 40% of the candidate's final mark, while the remaining 60% will have come from the classroom teacher scores from school-based assessments of grade 4, 5, and 6. This new testing is expected to emphasize both formative and summative assessments, which hopefully will heavily reduce the nonsense cutthroat competition that we see witnessed under the 844 system, and heavily reduce incentives for cheating in examinations. And for the avoidance of doubt, even this examination I'm presenting you did not leak. Many of you would have hoped that it leaked so that you can provide things you are going to write about, but unfortunately it did not leak. I also wish to assure my successor that I've ensured that the grade 6 national assessment is ready, and all that is required is to oversee the administration. My plea to the next government, whichever it is to encourage it to ensure continuous security of our examination process until the CBC is fully grounded. The administration of the December 22 examination will effectively mark the end of the rearranged academic calendar that was forced upon us by an external factor, COVID-19, occasioning a prolonged closure in 2020. Beginning of January 2023, our country will go back to the traditional academic calendar starting in January and ending in November of each year. I wish to thank the stakeholders, starting with the parents, the learners, and the teachers. But above all, I want to thank His Excellency the President for being bold enough to bite the bullets when everybody was singing the opposite song. I think in leadership, what I've learned from President Kenyatta is one thing, that the decision-making process is perhaps the most important aspect of leadership. So he made a decision to bite the bullet, and while some people wasted up to 2 years, we are going to go back to normal in some months' time. I also do not want to forget our teachers, whom nobody can compensate them. So let me not hear teachers saying, oh, we are not being paid enough. Who the hell do you think is being paid enough? Nobody is paying me to work for 16 hours a day. So you should also do the same, and most of them are doing so. And we are proud of them, Dr. Macharia, and we pass that message to them. I want to thank the President for offering the ministry all the support, President, for the manner in which he has handled me as a cabinet secretary. He has never given me instructions that confuse me, as if he's saying this and meaning this. Every instruction he has given me has been towards the poor of this nation. So, Nathan, President Kenyatta's contribution to the education sector will comprise a myriad of chapters. And you can take that to the bank, because it's not about politics. You can actually measure what has been done. The multi-agency examination administration, the successful administration of this exam for the last 6 years would not have been possible if we did not have a multi-agency approach, some of whom I will not name, some I will name because you see the policemen. Basically, I want to recognize, first of all, my fallen colleague, the late General Kaiseri, who together with Fred Matiang'i and Joe Mucheru started this process when I was recruited to work at another level. And we have continued to better the system, except that the Kenyans have refused to accept that the container system which we picked after I went around African countries, and we picked it in Uganda, has been watertight. The exam cannot leak. So I don't know, whoever says the exam, show us the paper the day before. It's a very simple thing they are doing, which even a man who failed the exam can do. Once the examination has left the container, then 1 or 2 teachers will go and take a photo and put it in the mtandao. But the children are already in the classroom.